This is a CO2 cylinder that I traded out at Airgas National Welders. You can see it down here. I had a CO2 cylinder that I bought locally for 20 bucks off of a guy who didn't need it anymore. He was a restaurant guy and out of the business, and I picked up the 20-pound CO2 tank pretty cheap. And Airgas National Welders has a program where they'll rent you a tank like this and put 20 pounds of CO2 in it that you can use for as long as you need it. And whenever the tank is empty, they'll swap you out another full one. So you get a different tank, a full gas, you swap in the empty for the full. Tank rentals from them run about $20 a year, but I had a tank, so I don't have a tank rental fee annually. I traded in my tank. If you don't have a tank, you can go look for one and try to pick one up. Please, dear God, do not go out and pay $100 or more for a stupid little 5, 10 pound or a 20 tank. I mean, you know, these things probably sell for $140 new. It's crazy. I mean, why do you want to do it? Rent the tank, or go find an old tank, you know, take it into Airgas. They'll refurbish the tank, put a new hydrostatic inspection on it. This one is actually an old Coca-Cola tank. It was from Coke in Sumter. I'm here in North Carolina, so this would be Sumter, South Carolina. And it's one of the old tanks probably that Coke used to drive around and refill and drop off to restaurant customers for their beverage machines, that kind of thing. All right, so so we got a 20-pound tank, and yep, it's got plenty of CO2 in it. All right, what do we got up here? We got a cup of coffee. That'll make a nice camera stand. And a spoon to stir the coffee with. Well, that's great. Got a bottle here of sparkling ice, bottle full of water. Hasn't been carbonated. This is the lemon lime sparkling ice. This is a 1-liter bottle. Sparkling ice is out of let's see, where are they out of? Seattle. They're accompanied by the name of Talking Rain out there. Really cool. The bottles are perfect fit for the Fizz-Giz caps. And they're a little on the pricey side with their product, but you know, some people think it tastes really good. It's a diet kind of things. Here's a 12-ounce bottle of you know, just a plain old soda bottle, whatever brand. And it's also got water filled up to the shoulders. And here's a Pepsi bottle. Let's take a look at this Pepsi bottle here. Hard as a rock. And so it has been filled with CO2 and demonstrate. Here is a pressure gauge with an inflation needle mounted to it, so that we can stick it into a football or a basketball and measure what the pressure is. We can also stick it into this, because there's a football valve mounted in this cap here, so we can stick it in there. Let's try that and see what happens. Okay, I don't know what's going to go on here, but give it a shot. Okay, I'll put this in here and see if you can see this. I don't know if you can or not, but push it in. Okay, pressure jumped up. What do we got? Okay, we're reading between 90 and 120, so it's right at 100 psi, something like that in there. You can pump these bottles up a little higher if you want, 150. Okay, but it's not always what you want to do here. Let's take the top off of this one so you can see it. Yeah, all right, so now we've depressurized this Pepsi bottle, okay? You can squeeze it. All right, put put that to the side. What else have we got? We got a CO2 bulb. Here's a Fizz brand CO2 bulb. And as you can see, this is got a 25-cent refundable deposit. There's the website and the phone number. This is a CO2 bulb that, let's see if I can focus in on that for you. Unopened. It's a 16-gram CO2 bulb. Here we got a gram scale. Oh, that's cool. If we dump the CO2 out of that CO2 bulb, get a before and after weight, we could read it. Let's see what the weight is before, if I can get it balanced on there. Oh, cool. Okay, the bulb full weighs 57.1 grams. Interesting. Alrighty. And I got a Fizz handheld CO2 dispenser that those bulbs fit in. Here's the website, phone number 409-FIZZ. Email address, Mr. Fizz, 2 Z's, at FizzGiz, 2 Z's and Fizz, and .com. We got this thing here, looks like a soda rope. It's got a little different fitting on the bottom of it than standard soda rope. Let me show you what it's for. You guessed it. Alright, let's see if I can show you how this is done. Doesn't take a whole bunch of torque to, you don't need a wrench or anything like that. So let's put this back, and I'll show you what we're going to do here. We're going to take this FizzGiz handheld dispenser, which has a little brass hose barb connector on the bottom of it, and we're going to connect the end of this tube to that. So, camera back down here. Show you how you do that. Piece of cake. You just get it on there, wiggle it back and forth a couple of times until it's firmly seated, and you know, then you're good to go. Pressing the button yields nothing. Of course, we haven't turned the gas on. So let's turn the gas on. Alright, so now we got this 20-pound cylinder hooked up to this, and we got plenty of gas, as you can see. Alrighty, so got a FizzGiz dispenser now that is attached to a whopper CO2 cartridge, if you want to think of it as that. 20 pounds. Alright, 20 pounds of CO2. That's 9,072 grams. That is enough to carbonate these liter bottles here, 1,134 of them. It's enough to carbonate these little 12-ounce bottles here, 12-ounce single-serving size bottles of pop, 3,194 of those. And the beverage industry standard level of carbonation for these bad boys here is 8 grams per liter, so you can do the math. A 12-ounce bottle is, 0.355 liters roughly. Instead of 8 grams of CO2, this bottle fully carbonated will only contain about 2.84 grams, somewhere in that neighborhood. A little more, a little less. So let's let's see. Let's do a couple things here. Let's turn on our gram scale. Alrighty. Show you how to carbonate drinks without worrying about pressure. Pressure is so stupid to try to obtain. Pressure inside a bottle is going to fluctuate with the temperature of the bottle. So, why you got to worry about cold water, or water that's just as cool as it comes out of the tap. Just put the appropriate weight of CO2 in the silly thing and you're done. I don't care if your water's totally chilled like ice cold or if it's, just right out of the tap. No problem. You can carbonate it. Just no big deal there, okay? So we're going to weigh this bottle, see what we got. Looks like we got, 300. Whoops, let me put the cap on it. So we'll have a cap weight. All right, because we're going to weigh it later after it's capped. So it looks like we got, what, 349 or so. Let's see what it settles down to. Well, it looks like 349.1. Lift it off. Make sure it's zeroed out. Put it back on. Okay, so 348.9. I'll go with that one. All right, and set that to the side. Let's go to the liter bottle. See what we got here. Put the cap on it so we get the weight with a cap. Now, what do we got here? Looks like we got 980.3, 0.4, 0.5. Okay, I'm going to go with a 0.4 because it was 3, then it was 4, then it was 5. So we'll say 980.4. That's with a cap. All right, we're going to do a little bit of carbonating now. We'll start with a small one. I think I will burp this bottle now. Burping the bottle, you just squeeze the bottle, okay, till the water comes to the top, and then you cap it. Now, what's the point of that? Okay, there's not much of a point of it if you are carbonating, let's say, just to consume right away. However, if you're going to store it for a while, it's good to get the air out, specifically the oxygen. Oxygen is the enemy of food. So let's take our fizz-giz now that's hooked up to the whopper tank, and let's just go putting some CO2 in. Very light touch. Okay, remember you don't have to push hard. Watch what happens if I push too hard here. Well, this one didn't, but a lot of times it'll stop. The bubbles will stop, okay? Alright, so you see the bubbles they're kind of slowing down. I guess you can see that. I don't know if I got the camera right or not. So, now let's weigh that and see what we got. See how much we got there, just out of curiosity. Gotta turn this bad boy back on. Okay, we're going to take this, sit it on there. Okay, we're at 350.7, so we're already up a little bit. Now I can't really get any more CO2 in it until I shake this up. I'm going to shake it up really good to mix the CO2 that's in there. Fierce agitation is what it takes. I'll go with, I'm sure we'll be able to get some more in there now, so let's see what happens now. Oh yeah, plenty of it's going in. And it starts to slow down as the pressure equalizes. I think I'm only putting it in here at around, say, 110, PSI, something like that. Okay, it's hard as a rock again. And we're going to shake it up. I'm doing a really super job of this because I want to get it all in there that I can in as short a time as possible. And if you do your agitation, that's the key to it. You can only get so much CO2. The pressure builds up in there equal to the pressure that you're dispensing at. Shake it up one more time. Alright, and we'll give it one last shot of CO2. And I'm not going to bother with worrying about... Alright, so let's get our final weight now here. Turn this back on. Okay, so we'll put this on there and see what we got. So our final weight, what are we going to call this here? 354 grams. Alright, let's do the same thing now with our... Oh, I got a fun thing. Let's see how much of that CO2 is in the Headspace. That's interesting. 354 grams. Well, let's uncap it. Okay. And just see how much of that CO2 was in the Headspace. And as you can see, okay, it's very, very highly carbonated. What's it weigh now? 352.5. So, lost a little bit in the Headspace, right? But you can see it's still fully carbonated. It's going to be an enjoyable bottle of seltzer, for as long as it'll take you to drink it. That much is for sure. All right, let's go with the 1 liter now. We got a weight on that 1 liter here. I believe we did. And let's see here. Yeah, that was the thing. Oh, got to put the cap on it. Okay, yeah, the cap on there now. All right. So yeah, we're at like 980.4. So let's take this bottle and I'll burp it a little bit here, and then I'll put the tighten the cap down, and let's see what happens here carbonating this big old 1-liter bottle. Personally, I don't like the bigger bottles. I'd rather just get a smaller bottle, and I'm not going to drink a whole liter of bottle. A liter of pop's too much for me. Maybe not for some folks, but I don't need that much. I'd rather have about 3 of the little 12 ounces sitting in the fridge ready, and the other 2 stay absolutely, totally, fully carbonated. Alright, so that's about that. Let me shake this up really, really good. Well, how much did we get in there that time? Take a quick look here. Oh boy, of course that thing's going to go out on me. Alright, let's see what we got. What's that? 985.1, something like that. Cool. Alright, so we'll take another stab at this. We can get some more in here. Oh yeah. Alright, slowing down. Slowing down to a trickle. Let me shake it up a little bit. Alrighty. Alright. A little bit more here. See what we get. Didn't weigh it that time. But, guarantee it weighed more than it did the previous time. That's for sure. I'm slowing down to a trickle now. And again, I'm only putting it in at about 110 psi, and you can jack your pressure up if you want to closer to 130, 140, 150. Make quicker work out of it. And also, if you want to get your water really, really cold, freeze some water on the side of the bottle with it lying down sideways in the freezer, and then your water will be really cold, and you'll get CO2 to go in there faster. But again, don't feel like you have to do that. It's not an absolute requirement. Okay, let's see what we got here. Turn our scale back on. Okay, we're zeroed out. Put the big bottle on here with the cap. Well, what are we looking at? All right, looks like we're looking at about 993.1. So, wow. 993.1. Wow. Got nearly 13 grams of CO2 in there. That's about 1.6, 1.7 times the beverage industry standard level of carbonation, which is 8 grams per liter. We started out about 980, now we're 993. Duh, that's a lot. That's a very highly carbonated drink you got on your hands there. More than you're going to find on the supermarket shelf, I can tell you that. And this one here, bubbling away. I don't know how many minutes it's been, but it's been several minutes, and so, you can tell we're getting some pretty highly carbonated drinks here. All right, looks like we're finished with that. Oh, want to check the weight in the Headspace? I'm going to take this cap off in a second and see how much it drops down from the 993. Let's just give it a stab and see here. Okay. Whoa! Whoop, 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 whoop. Well, that kind of blew that experiment. I should have been a little slower with it. It won't be accurate now because we lost a little bit of water there, but well, there's no point in even weighing it. Alrighty, so now you see that you can slap a device like this and get yourself a handheld unit for dispensing. And the cool thing about this little dispenser unit is this. Let's turn the juice off. All right, and now let's bleed the pressure in the line. Very simple. Just push the button. All right, now we've bled the pressure in the line. We disconnect the bottom. A simple pull does that. And now you take this off, and you don't use the modified CO2 bulb, which allows you to feed CO2 into the fizz giz from a big source like this. Instead, you use one of these little things. Fits in your pocket, for crying out loud. Now you can go to the beach. Now you can go on a fishing trip. Okay? Carbonate drinks on the fly. And all you got to do is put, this much stuff here in your tackle box. So you're totally portable. With this dispenser, you can be as portable as you want, or as affordable. So you get portability, when you need it, with these little things, and affordability, major affordability, when you don't with, the big tank. These things here cost you $1 or more per drink. They run you about, anywhere from 12, 15 cents worth of CO2, maybe upwards of 18 cents. You just have to figure it out. Is you only get, a 2-liter bottle with one of these, 16 grams, 8 grams per liter. You get a 2-liter bottle. With this thing over here, costs you about 1.5, maybe 2 cents, per drink to carbonate, because the CO2 is totally cheap. You can get that thing filled for like, 15 or 20 bucks at the any of these places. Airgas, Prax Air, Roberts Oxygen. There are all kinds of commercial gas distributors. No restaurant in their right mind would be buying and using these things to make CO2 or make beverages with. They buy this cheap stuff because they're in the business to make money. So that takes care of the. And by the way, this product is known as the soda rope. I have 2 versions of soda rope. One that fits on the big tanks, like this, and another one that fits paintball-sized tanks. The ones that fit on the big tanks come off horizontally, like so. The one that fit on the paintball tanks, they're vertical. They sit straight up and down on the top of the tank. All right, that's about all I got for you today. Thanks for listening in.